Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 battle. This is going to be two dwarves versus the beastmen and the goblins. My army is going to be led by Grombrindal today because he's just a badass. Just look at this dude. He's a badass. He's even got scrolls on his back. Like he is a cool looking dwarf. Very cool looking dwarf. My other leadership here revolves around a runesmith and then two thanes that are going to be Grombrindal's bodyguards, basically. For my army here, we have a front line of dwarf warriors, longbeards, a Norgrimling's ironbreakers, and another dwarf warrior over here. I have two rangers with great weapons over here. We have a backline of the grumbling guard, the Ekrund miners, the miner, and two additional normal miners back here just to intercept any rear charges that may happen. My ally is a front line of dwarven warriors. I believe they brought 4 of them. 2 longbeards with great weapons over here. They are being led by a dwarf lord and a thane. There are 2 cannons, 2 grudge throwers, 4 quarrelers, and a group of iron breakers over here. The greenskin player, who is, I think, taunting me at this point. By the way, I cut out about 5 minutes of army movements, just to be clear. We started up here, because that's where the edge of the deployment was. I immediately moved to the base of this forest, and my ally's been just slowly moving for a few minutes there. And back here, we've seen some monstrous creatures, which we'll get to here in just a moment. But we have a total of, I believe, 4 forest goblin spider riders, which, while cool, maybe a little much against dwarves. Like, they would be really good at killing rangers, so maybe that's why they brought a lot of them to scour the forest, because they have been moving around a lot. Maybe they're looking for rangers in vanguard deployment, but there are 4 of them over here. We have a centaur with great weapon. The main greenskin line is going to be consisting of mainly gobos here, and then 3 goblin archers, 2 giants, and a Ragnarok spider, and they have beer led by Grimgor, who is over here with some orc big boar, or boy biggins. The beastman player, we saw those centaurs, they also have a giant back here. They have a group of minotaurs, a gorbull over here, and then their main infantry is going to be ungor spears, gore herds, a beast lord, and more gore herds that are unshielded. And that is the enemy army. And so they are going to be sending their forest goblin spider riders around my flank, because I don't really have any weaknesses right here that the enemy can see. So it's a good call of not charging me, and they are going to wrap around through the forest and threaten my allies' quarrelers here. So when I see them going around behind me, I'm not going to overcommit and move my entire army. There's really no reason to, honestly, because I can't even catch them anyway. But I am going to position my rangers with great weapons right here to support the quarrelers, and right now I am doing this to my teammate. That's exactly what I did. I was like, listen, they're coming. And eventually they do respond, and I believe they gave a massive attack order to these forest goblin spider riders. Because I didn't really notice any movement. Like, they're still moving their forces up into a line right here. You can see the orc boy biggins are coming out here as well. And so I kept spamming this, because it's a quick way of communication. I'm going to detach, I believe, 1 single dwarf warrior, and then my command group, which is the Grombrindal and his 2 bodyguard thanes. And they're going to be coming over in this area as well. The quarrelers do get their attack orders in, but it is a little too late, so these forest goblin spider riders are going to just kind of pile in here. But even still, the quarrelers, because these are not rangers, quarrelers have a lot of armor and are decent at melee, so the forest goblin spider riders, while this is an excellent maneuver in most cases, like if these were peasant bows or, I don't know, handgunners, you know, Empire or something, this would crush the ranged contingent of your enemy player. It does do some damage, though. It still does do. We got half damage here on this quarreler unit. Some damage spread a lot amongst the other 4s. Some longbeards came in to assist, and they are pushing back the forest goblin spider riders. The thing is, the forest goblin spider riders, again, this is a great maneuver. The thing, they just don't have that much armor piercing to really pierce through the quarreler's armor, but they still do a lot of damage. So it's a good move. They're getting out before they got surrounded and bogged down. So that's good. Meanwhile, they also threw in their orc boy biggins over here into the 2 cannon groups. You can see my ally is responding. I'm going to be responding as well, pulling our rangers with great weapons over here. I'm going to throw, I think, 1 or maybe 2 salvos into these orc boy biggins with the axes, and I'm pulling in our Grombrindal squad and our 1 single dwarf warrior. Again, I'm not really overcommitting. I have no idea if there's more things hiding in this forest. I didn't bring a gyrocopter this time for scouting purposes, so I'm just kind of like, I'm playing it cool. No reason to overcommit to just 1, threat here. So this one, unfortunately for our enemy player, actually gets surrounded and murdered. They did deal some damage to the cannon crew, but the cannon crews are still operational. Meanwhile, back here, I believe the Ragnarok is going to start moving forward by itself pretty soon. You can see the Centaurs having some movement over there. And the Forest Goblin Spider Riders are now coming back around to threaten the cannon group again. So I still move our one Dwarf Warrior and Grombrindal, but then they see what's coming at them with all of the Dwarf Warriors. So they're going to cut back through the forest, and they're going to hit the Quarters for a second time. But they are supported at least by some Iron Breakers and the Longbeards. But yeah, these Quarters are going to take another charge to the face. I am throwing Grombrindal over here, along with our one Dwarf Warrior unit. And I believe our Rangers are moving over here as well. Iron Breakers care not for Forest Goblin Spider Riders. They will handle them pretty soundly. The Quarrelers, though, they are taking a lot of damage through this battle back here. Now again, this is a great maneuver, but one thing I would say for this player specifically, the greenskin player, is, well, one, don't move your Ragnarok Spider up alone. But two, I would be moving my entire army up to engage our armies at this time when you're engaging the backline with the Quarrelers, so we can't send any reinforcements so your Ranger or your Spider Riders have a better chance of shutting down the Quarrelers. You kind of got to hit the Dwarves at all sides, or else they can focus down and take out a threat as they come. So good move. Just need to support this action with like your armies moving in as well. And again, I'm not sure why, but they send their Ragnarok Spider across an open field with cannons looking at it to try and fight us. And they're not sending their armies quite yet. They're just kind of sending in these waves of threats. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to respond with moving my Rangers with great weapons to again do massive armor piercing damage with their throwing axes. They are so good at taking out Arachnaroks. So good. That's actually the reason why I even brought them. Instead of getting just like Quarrelers or something. Just in case they brought an Arachnarok, I needed the focus power of the Rangers with great weapons to tear them down. But the Centaurs are now going to come in as well, along with the Arachnarok. Now that our forces are distracting the Arachnarok, they are going to get a clear hit on these Grudge Throwers that are positioned in the forest, so that's a good charge there. And again, I'm not really overcommitting. I am moving up a little bit, but not going super crazy. My engagement force is going to be the Dwarf Warrior and Grombrindal and his squad, so we are going to respond to these Centaurs and charge them. I think my Rangers may throw in a salvo against the Centaurs because now the Arachnarok Spider is moving off, and this is when they are finally marching up the rest of their army, including the 3 Giants, the Gobos. We see the Gore Herds being led by Grimgore Ironhide and the Beastmen coming out of the forest, and I was like, oh shit, so they do have an army. Because at this point I was like, what are they doing? And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm a little nervous because there are 3 fucking giants coming at me. I didn't build for an anti-giant army, specifically because looking at my army of my ally, they had a lot of Quarrelers, and I was like, well, they can handle giants if they bring them. But the Quarrelers are being destroyed by those Forest Goblin Spider Riders and now these Centaurs. So I'm trying. I am trying to assist my allies' Quarrelers as best I can. But now I have to worry about all of these greenskins and the beastmen that are now moving and going onto my position. You can see they are focusing on me. I'm trying to reposition my line to get a solid line like this. My Norgrimlings, Iron Breakers, I press hold position, and they face this way! And I was crying on the inside. I was like, no, you're getting rear charged, Iron Breakers. What are you doing? Throwing in my Longbeards, my Runesmith buffs going down. And seeing that Grimgore is in the middle of my formation and these giants here, I'm going to be pulling out Grombrindal and his Thanes. And they are going to be disengaging and moving down to deal with Grimgore, the giant. The Ragnarok came back, so I am throwing some more axes into it with our Rangers with great weapons, and we're trying to break its morale. Over here on the left, the Grudge Thrower crews are holding as long as they can, but they are going to be overwhelmed. My Dwarf Warriors are kind of waiting in the wings, just because there's a lot going on. You can see all the Beastmen pouring in on my right flank, these giants and the other Beastmen in the center. My ally is now kind of doing a solid engage here and there. The Quarrelers, for the most part, have been taken out by the Centaurs and the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. And you see the Giant here just pierce through my lines, and they're going straight for my Rangers. So I had to slow them down with the Miners and the Thanes, pull out my Rangers. We're getting some throwing axes on them, and I'm getting Grombrindal right in the middle of this. This is my kill everything crew, Grombrindal and his Thanes, and they just do a massive amount of damage when supported by the Rangers with great weapons. Meanwhile, the front line is dealing with another giant over here. There is still a Beastman giant here on the wings, destroying some of my allies' dwarven forces. Minotaurs and Gorbals are now going to be coming up over the hill, where you can see I have some miners just trying to hold off anything that's coming this way. Just trying to make sure that they will have a hard time getting into this area, because I do not want them getting behind our main line. Meanwhile, the Iron Breakers and the Longbeards are doing what they can, but this is a giant, and a giant is really good at killing dwarves. But they just have to hold for now because I can't really give them any other support. We are trying to chase Grimgor, who is chasing down the Rangers with great weapons. So we are going to get our kill squad on Grimgor. And at this point, I think I popped... Maybe I didn't pop any buffs. I've been popping the vigor buffs as much as I could. There we go. We get the rune axe of Grombrindal popping there to try and bring down Grimgor, and also we flash bomb him to try and lower his speed and his melee compatibility or capabilities. And so our anti-hero squad here, the Thanes and the Grombrindal, are going to just destroy Grimgor. Utterly destroy. And now we have a Gorbel in our midst. So now I'm going to be sending them after the Gorbel after this fight is over. You can see Grimgor is now on the run. Minotaurs have now disengaged from these dwarf warriors over here and are joining the rest of their brethren in the forest. Where you can see the Gobos are going to be routing due to our runesmith supporting the dwarven warriors over here on the left flank. But the giant is now coming in, and they're going to be getting into our Longbeards and our runesmith, who is just going to try and hold this as much as he can. I'm throwing in support with the Ekron miners over there as well, and pulling in some more miners that were engaged against gore herds over here, who are now routing into the forest as we speak. The Gorbel, we have our Grombrindal and bodyguards on him, and he is not going to be able to survive the amount of damage that Grombrindal can throw out. Basically, the bodyguards are here to take the hits for Grombrindal, because he cannot use potions. The Thanes can. So that's why I assigned them as his bodyguards. So you can see they have taken some hits from the Gorbel, which can be neglected by the one healing potion that we have on each. And they are now going to continue their journey across ping-ponging from threat to threat. These Minotaurs, I am going to be throwing the rest of our ammunition, I believe. Actually, I think I throw the rest of our ammunition into this giant over here, who has joined their cousin of the Greenskin Giants. They're just tearing into my Iron Breakers. But they are holding, man. They are holding two giants. Well, now one, because this one is trying to silence my Rangers. This Greenskin player really wanted to destroy these Rangers, even though they're almost out of ammunition at this point. Like, they're really not that big of a threat anymore, but they really want to shut them down. So, oh, here we go. My last salvo, I think, goes into these, this giant over here as he comes in swinging. The other giant is going to be joining them. We have the Minotaurs over here. We bring down this giant with the Rangers with great weapons. Gorbel is back for a second round, charging Grombrindal and his bodyguards, so we are going to be dealing with a giant, Minotaurs, and Gorbels back there. I'm pulling back miners to support in this engagement. Meanwhile, the front line of Longbeards is still holding. The Runesmith is now by himself, fighting against Gobos and Gore herds. I'm going to be pulling him out soon-ish. We have the Ekron miners ready to support wherever is needed, and the Grumbling Guard and the Iron Breakers still dealing with giants over here, and a Beast Lord and more Gore herds that came back from routing. My ally has just been fighting over Gore herds over here on the flanks for the most part. I'll show more of his battle in the cinematic view. But you can see he's now coming in to try and support my main battle line. The Goblin Archers, for some reason, were not really in range for most of this battle. Maybe my enemy forgot them. That is a huge win on my part, basically. Because if the Goblin Archers, if they were engaged this entire time, things would be a little bit more dicey than what they are currently. So, Grombrindal has managed to rout off the Minotaurs, rout off Grimgor once again, and the Gorbel. Actually, they may have killed the Gorbel. Yeah, they killed the second giant at least. So they are going to be respawning over here and getting into the Beastman's giant, but it's at this point that the enemy is going to take so many losses that they are going to break for a final time, and they are going to run from the Dwarven lines. Really scary dealing with all three giants there, the Minotaurs and the Gorbel. If I didn't have Grombrindal's death squad, this could have been a different fight, because they brought down Grimgor within seconds, because it's Grombrindal. Like, he is the one hero you really need to stay away from. Try to lock him down as much as possible with just throwaway units. If you have an Ungor Spearman herd, do what you can to have them surround Grombrindal and keep him in place. Do whatever you can to keep him away from your vital targets. He's like the Dwarven Gorbel, basically. Because the Gorbels, the reason why they're so good is because they're so good at shutting down anything in the game. So you have two of them, and they go around and they just ping-pong back and forth and take out vital components of an enemy's army. They're like surgical strikers. And when they take out, an enemy hero, an enemy corpse card, an enemy, just some big unit really quickly, it's a real blow to the enemy army, and that's why they're so good. Grombrindal is kind of a similar thing, just not nearly as fast or big. But he is so good at killing anything in this game. So you just got to try and stay away from him as much as possible. He is such a badass. So anyways, Grombrindal only got 6 kills because he was battling giants and Grimgor through that whole thing. The Runesmith, though, 68 kills on our left flank, holding the Gobos and Goreherds by himself after the Dwarven Warriors fled due to losses. The Thanes that were with Grombrindal got 5 kills each. I'm not sure what they killed, probably Spider Riders or something. Miners did pretty good. The Dwarven mainline, 69 kills and 50 here is insane, but they were fighting against Goblins for the most part, so, you know, expect high numbers. The Ekron Miners, only 20 kills. I had to throw them in to fill the gaps, and they weren't really all that great. Like, they have Frenzy, they have the blasting charges, but every time I've used them, they just haven't really performed that well. But, you know, I'll still give them a shot here and there, because you never see them. Longbeards, 103 kills. I think they were in the dead center of my formation, just holding as long as they could, and they did really well. The Grumbling Guard and Nor Grimling's Ironbreakers, 118 kills and 98, so good. And then the Rangers were just kind of surgical striking giants and special targets. For my ally, I cannot pronounce... Laurenritter Ornstein. Lord, 68 kills. Thane, 57. That's insanely good. Just a high amount of kills, kind of all over the board. Not much for the Quarters, but they kind of got shut down. Grudge Thrower, 61 kills is pretty good. The Cannon Crew, they did do damage to the Arachnarok, and maybe some Giants, but mainly the Arachnarok. So even though they didn't get many kills here, they still do some work. For the Greenskin player, Husso, 22 kills for Grimgore. He just could not handle Grombrindal and his bodyguards. The Gobos could not break through, for the most part, our very high-armored Dwarven line. The Goblin Archers, again, I think they were just forgotten until the very end. It happens. It happens. Very good move here with the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. They did help shut down the Quarters, so that was a really good maneuver. The Orc Boy Biggins, initially a very good maneuver, but they kind of stayed just a little too long, so they got surrounded and shut down, but still a good maneuver. The Giants, the focus on my Rangers, while usually a good thing, by the time the Giants really got there, my ammo was mostly spent, and a Ranger without ammo is really not that high of a threat. Yeah, they do have armor piercing, they do have okay melee stats, but, like, you can just kind of forget them. The Giants would have been better just kind of hammering my Ironbreakers, like shutting down that one flank with the Longbeards and the Ironbreakers. If you can shut down the Grumbling Guard so their Vigor Aura is no longer a thing, that's a huge blow to my army. And then the Arachnarok just kind of charged across the open field. I'm not entirely sure why they did that. Lolo here, 28 kills in their Beast Lord, 25 in their Gore Bull. The other forces, Goreherds did okay, actually, considering they were fighting against Dwarven units. The high armor is pretty good. And the Goreherds behind them also did pretty well. Centaur's 109 kills is great. Minotaur's 155 kills is great. And then the Giant with 52 kills is not bad. So hope you enjoyed that battle. Let's watch this again in a cinematic view. This is one brave Arachnarok. Not many things can bring them down that quickly. Dwarven cannons just happen to be one of those things. Also, dwarves with throwing axes who are coming down off the hills. So I think in this case, this player maybe just overestimated the capabilities of the Arachnarok, which can be easy to do because they are an amazing unit. Looks like they weren't even given an attack order. Oh, there come the throwing axes. Alright, sure, it has the power to go through trees. I didn't know that. That's impressive. That's very impressive. This Discord move was really good. Trying to finish off these Quarters. They're pretty good at doing that. Those great weapons deal some massive damage. If these Quarters got like one salvo, if these 4 units got at least one off on these Centaurs, they would have immediately routed because they are so easily destroyed by ranged fire. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Can't believe their backs were turned. That's so many people. that grumbling guard. Put him down. Oh. Yeah! I like those throwing axes in the back. Get him on the ankles. Grombrindal don't care about you screaming. The Akron miners throwing their sapper charges over here, trying to assist their runesmith. Oh my god, the grudge throwers are still up back there. Man, they are behind enemy lines. Oh, jump kick his ass. Oh, second jump kick to the face. Then a headbutt. Oh, man. Dwarves. You wouldn't think they're so nimble.
Get that old stone planted and get dragging.
God, throwing axes in the face. Oops. Take a breather, buddy. See my allies' Longbeards over here, and I believe their leaders were, there's their Ironbreakers, are over here, dealing with the Beast Lord. There's the Thane. Pretty sure the Dwarf Lord was by their Thane. Maybe not. That's those Minotaurs. That's a big shadow. They really wanted these Rangers. Had to throw these miners in the way of those gore herds to stop them. That's right. Don't mess with the dwarves. And the Grombrindal's like, get back here. Come here. And then that's it. Oh, Grombrindal's so cool. Anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed the battle, everybody. I will see you all next time. Take care. Oh, there's the Rune Lord. Or, Dwarf Lord. He's over here. Where'd he go, buddy?